What do you think about this thing with Michael Chiesa challenging Mario Yamasaki?
So, should we explain it for anyone? It's a bit more obscure. Maybe people haven't heard about it.
Okay, yes. Recently, Michael Chiesa fights, what's his name, Lee? Help me out here. Kevin Lee. And it goes to the ground. Kevin Lee takes Chiesa's back. He sinks in a rear naked choke. It's a really fucking tight choke. The referee, Mario Yamasaki, calls it as, being a TKO or a finish for Kevin Lee. And Michael Chiesa challenges this, saying, well, no, I was still in it. I didn't tap. I could have gotten out of that. You called it too soon. This is overlooked by, whatever committee, and they decide, no, it's legit. We're going to leave it as is. It's an L for you, Chiesa. To which Michael Chiesa responds by challenging 50-something-year-old referee Mario Yamasaki to a grappling match.
The problem with like social media and just getting things over the internet, you don't know the tone of what someone says.
Okay.
What it's like. Like, I don't know. Is he joking? Or is he, serious? Because he's obviously a little butthurt about the whole situation. Ultimately, these referees are there to protect the fighters, and that is, you're fighting time. It's not a fight to the death. Not the gladiator days. This isn't like old Roman times. If you think it is, then you're fooling yourself. It's not a gladiator. Each fighter goes in there, and the referee's job is to make sure that they're healthy enough to fight again, and to walk away and not get serious damage, especially in the position that fighting sports are in now. People are getting seriously hurt and killed. Anyway, whatever. They're there for the fighter's safety. And he called it as he saw it. Mario Yamasaki called it as he saw it. And maybe he did stop it early, maybe he didn't. But ultimately, you were in a position where he could have called it. It wasn't like it came out of nowhere. He had the rear naked choke, he had it in deep. He thinks he didn't, he called it too early. And Mario Yamasaki did what he could in the moment. Mm-hmm. I get that you can complain about it, but then going out and calling out a 50-year-old referee to a grappling match is absurd. Is absolutely absurd, and you're lowering yourself.
Yep.
You're only hurting yourself. You're making yourself look. If I go pick a fight with a 7-year-old who called me a dickhead in the street, who looks bad? The 7-year-old or me? If I get in a fight with that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That might be an exaggeration, but if you go calling out 50-year-old men to combat, to martial arts combat, then you're basically putting yourself at the level of a 50-year-old man who doesn't compete in the sport and hasn't competed in the sport, and the referee's absurd. I found it's a terrible choice for Michael Chiesa. I think the culture of UFC is people think that everyone should talk, because of the new wave of fighters, and they're talking a lot more, and there's a lot more glitz and glam, and it's, we've mentioned, everyone thinks they're Muhammad Ali now, or Conor McGregor. They think that and just some people can't do it. They just don't have the mouth, they don't have the minds for it, and they get themselves in trouble. This is a prime example of when someone's Twitter account or whatever it is should be disabled, Yeah. They should have a PR person checking everything they say and just Xing stuff, because that makes him look really, really bad.
Yeah, and this isn't the first time. This is actually the second time, I think, this year where Chiesa has really come across like a 13-year-old douche. Like, there was his fight leading up to the fight with Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee makes some statement about, I'm not going to talk, or, we're sitting here going back and forth in the press conference, but come such and such date, we're going to get down, and, your mom's going to be in the audience, and your family's going to be in the audience, and then we're going to see what's up. And Chiesa gets up and is like, don't you ever fucking talk about my mom! Runs up, and they get into a scuffle It's like what are you fucking doing, dude? You're coming across as and even Mario Yamasaki called this. He's like, this is immature. Like, you're coming across very, very childish, and it's just a bad look. It's a bad look for you. It's a bad look for the sport. It's just all bad.
Yeah, it's bad for everyone involved. There's no winners in this situation.
Yeah, man.
But I think it comes from just like the new kind of culture of combat sports where everyone wants to talk a lot. And why doesn't combat sports just culture and life in general? Like now, everyone wants to talk, everyone wants to be heard, everyone wants to express themselves publicly, or maybe that should have been a conversation between just two dudes in a room somewhere, you know? Everything gets so publicized. You have to have an added level of awareness and an added level of poise. Just know what's coming out of your mouth. And for these dudes, I mean, to be fair, they're fighters, they're not politicians, but still, that the new part of fighting is you need to be able to talk and not talk.
Right.
Because I really don't think it's good for people's career when they start talking bollocks like that. Because
yeah, and it's like, this isn't gonna, like, let's say hypothetically Mario Yamasaki and Chiesa get down. They have this jiu-jitsu tournament, and Chiesa fucking super somersault flying arm bars Mario Yamasaki. Like, what does that prove about the fight that you had? That doesn't prove anything. And
that was Yamasaki's point.
And there's no point other than I'm mad, so now I want to fight you. Like that's really all there is to it. And as you mentioned, dude, is there a possibility that he could have gotten out of that choke? Yes, that is a thing that is possible. It is not like against the laws of physics. Something could have happened, but that choke was fucking in there deep. And as far as I could tell, he wasn't getting out of that. If you hadn't let the fight get to that position, then Mario could have never made that call. So who is ultimately to blame here?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. You got yourself into that position. It's like when guys get to a close 5-round decision and then they get really upset when they lose that because they thought they win. Dude, I mean, ultimately you put it in their hands.
Yeah.
You know, don't get put in that position if you're... I get why you're upset. I mean, you know, you're putting your pride on the line or whatever, but little humbleness and grace in defeat. Like, especially if you pretty much did kind of lose that fight anyway. You would have lost that fight whether it had been called or not. If anything, he potentially saved him from embarrassment of the dude being out cold.
Right.